You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, like, comment, share this bad boy out. Okay, well, we got some new disturbing allegations that have come out about Antonio Brown. It's getting to the point now where I believe since Antonio Brown walked off the field versus the New York Jets like 18 months ago, leaving behind what could have possibly been another run to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was pretty clear Tom Brady was missing that short to intermediate threat that was Antonio Brown, but he said, no, I'm not going back out on the field. Bruce Arians walks off, leaves his teammates behind. Might have been Tom Brady's chance for yet another ring right there. Just walked off the field. Seems like every other week there is some kind of shocking, disturbing, twisted allegations about Antonio Brown that have just kept coming out. Whether it's the issue with the Dubai hotel where he exposed himself, or the repugnant things he said about Giselle, Tom Brady's ex-wife, or if it's things involving this arena football team that he decided to purchase and immediately run straight into the ground and into the gutter. But these allegations are much more serious than anything we've seen. ESPN put out a deep dive into Antonio Brown and the Albany Empire. And there are allegations now coming out from former players from that team that are absolutely insane. Truly is. Besides just the things like messing up pay and all the things that you would think would be a slam dunk for somebody that's going to own a sports team, this takes even a further turn towards repugnant behavior for Antonio Brown. He said the other day that he thought his CTE was acting up. I mean, it's just baffling, the things that this guy does and the things that comes out of his mouth ultimately. Antonio Brown's tenure in the National Arena League was short and messy. The headlines surrounding the former Steelers star were constant and mostly aimed towards troubles he caused with the organization and its players. Yeah, it wasn't long after he purchased this that the other owners that were still owning a piece of the team, they wanted out. They didn't even want to be around him. That was like, he literally makes us uncomfortable. He doesn't know how to interact. He doesn't know how to act right. Whether it was coaches or players leaving after failing to receive the pay, the team being kicked out of hotels, or the wait for Brown's reported appearance in a game, the team seemingly filled the tabloids with negative headlines. All of that bubbled over when the NAL eventually removed Brown's team. I mean, they just kicked the whole team out of the league for failing to pay his dues. I mean, it's just baffling. It's crazy. Now, more allegations are emerging about Brown and his time with the Empire. According to an ESPN deep dive of the situation, Brown allegedly threatened to pull a gun on players on the team. This guy literally threatened to go full menace to society, full boys in the hood, on players on the Albany Empire arena football team. I mean, how do you do that as an owner? It's nuts. You're wanting to be a legitimate businessman, right? We thought. No, you're wanting to be a thug in the street, a hoodlum. I mean, my God. That's crazy. Brown allegedly threatened to pull a gun on players following a heated argument about a social media post. The social media post was in honor of a former teammate who had passed away. Okay, that makes sense. According to the report, players were upset about the post being removed and were unable to get answers from those in the front office. Why would you remove a post about a former player that passed away? That's a bad look. So the conversation found itself in front of Brown at the Albany Cigar Lounge. Quote, AB looked right at Ryan Larkin and was like, hey, man, you still got the AR in the car? The AR-15, I assume. Hey, you still got the AR in the car? Go get it. Wide receiver Darius Prince told ESPN, quote, then I was like, I'm not going to allow this dude to walk out of here after you just threatened us. After he said that, things did calm down and we had a conversation. But the fact is, he threatened us by telling his assistant to go grab the AR. Why would you possibly why would it even cross your mind to have your assistant go get a gun when you are talking to players involved in a team that you own? This is not something that lucid, competent, mentally capable individuals, this is not things they do when they're trying to conduct business. Unless you're in the mob, unless you're a gangbanger. Antonio Brown's like 35 years old now. Another terrorizing story in the short tenure of Brown, and one that eventually ended with him on a heated phone call with players and coaches over unpaid game checks. Since the league removed the Empire, Brown has brought it up several times, but has mostly stuck to his rap career. He also made headlines about legal troubles involving child support. That's right. And let us not forget the situation where down in Florida, he locked himself in the house. The police were outside the house for days waiting for him to come out because he had a warrant for his arrest. He wouldn't open the door. Now, I'm kind of surprised they didn't kick down the door, but they didn't. But they nonetheless, he still had him in a standoff situation. Absolutely crazy. Now, keep in mind, this is the same player that's got a Super Bowl ring, that's got over 11,000 receiving yards, and I believe over 80 touchdowns in his career. We're talking about a guy that if he could have held it together through the end of that last Buccaneers playoff run that he was involved with, keep in mind, the Buccaneers almost won that game against the Rams that next game. If Antonio Brown would have been in that game, that was the game after the game he walked out during the Jets, or the game he walked out during the game against the Jets, but that would have been a playoff game that he would have played in had he not done that. They likely would have beat the Rams. And then who knows what happens with Tom Brady getting yet another ring. Antonio Brown getting yet another ring. Instead, he blows up his NFL career. He blew up playing with teams. He blew up his time with the Steelers. He blew up his time with New England. I mean, Tom Brady gave him a place to stay. And we've seen what he's done with that friendship. He's completely ruined it. And here you go with this guy going full thug hoodlum, wanting to pull guns, allegedly, on football players on a team that he bought. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And, I feel like one of these days we're going to be doing a story on Antonio Brown, and it's going to have been really bad. Either an incident to somebody else or an incident on himself. What a sad ending to what could have been a all-time career. Because make no mistake, Antonio Brown had all-time great talent. All-time. I mean, he was, even the year after he left Tampa Bay, he was still running like a gazelle. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Just pulling guns. No big deal. Nothing to see here. Wow. Maybe you should move to Chicago. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.